Alright, so as of recently, I'm starting to notice within the community that there's been a lot of buzz going around concerning our good friend Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. And it's about how we've been looking at him all wrong. Apparently, all this time, UG4 was never that bad. No. He's actually balanced because he wasn't as toxic as Ultras like Radhan and UMV. And even more so nowadays because he's way easier to deal with than he was back in his prime. Huh? Yeah, I'm just as confused as you. I'm not sure where this sudden surge just came from of just people randomly saying UG4 is balanced all of a sudden. Like, it is everywhere. I've seen it in my comments, I've seen it in my server, and someone even directly tagged me on Twitter and was like, Slackax, please argue with me. UG4 is balanced and I'm mad that you clowned on me in that one hot take video. Well, Gio, I'm sorry that I clowned on you, I really am, but your hot take is ass, buddy.
I'm like, what do you say fuck me for?
And you didn't even provide an actual reason. All you said was UG4 wasn't as oppressive as most of the modern units of today. And how are you gonna sit here and say Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta wasn't oppressive? Like, what kind of fucking shitty ass— Let me calm down. Well, Gio, I don't ever usually respond to people on Twitter because I'm never on there. But since I keep getting hundreds of other people saying this exact same thing, I gotta step in. Alright, so here's how this video is going to go. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at everything Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is able to do and the impact he had on the entire game. Because it's clear that some of you need a little reminder just how stupid this character really is. And after we're done freshening up on all that, then I'm going to take a look at your guys' points as to why you think UG4 is balanced, and I'm going to be debunking every single one. And this will honestly be pretty easy for me because most of the points you guys made are literally just copy and paste. You said the exact same thing. Alright then, without further ado, let's get started. July 9th, 2024, the day Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was born. And he was by far one of the most hyped characters we've ever received.
Yes!
Oh! Yep. It's time. Whoa! I love that art. It's time. Let's get it.
Oh, he has the arts action mechanic. That's what Vegito Blue had last year. Yeah, he looks sick. Get ready to see this guy pretty often, guys. He's going to be ruining all your days pretty soon.
But not only was this character super hype, he was also one of the most broken and meta-defying units we have ever gotten. Every single green unit went completely extinct and was just unrunnable. Fusions instantly became the best team in the game. Gogeta dropped and just changed everything, bro. But what exactly made him so powerful? Well, there are multiple reasons, so let's take a look at his kit. Alright, first things first, the bread and butter of this Gogeta's entire character, his unique gauge. As you all know, once his unique gauge gets filled, Gogeta is able to counter any attack in the game, except for rising rushes. Strikes, blast, blue cards, ultimate, greens, AoE greens, long range blues, anything and everything. And he doesn't even have to be in the battlefield to counter either. If you have his gauge up while he's on standby, all you have to do is switch into him and he'll counter. And another really crazy thing about this gauge is that it also fills up so quickly. It only takes 3 hits for him to get his gauge, and it can also be filled up instantly once he gets to half HP, which, by the way, he gets a shit ton of HP from that. So you'll pretty much always have his gauge ready to go. And you can even save it for later situations. You don't have to pop it right away if you don't want to. Another thing that happens when you activate his gauge is that he drops 3 of your cards, seals your rush, seals your main, and even activates no switching for the entire team. Even though it's a short period of time, that is still absolutely ridiculous. There's a lot of things I want to add on to the gauge, like how it could be absolutely broken in certain situations, but we're going to save it for later. For now, let's talk about all the crazy shit he's doing on his cards, because they are insane. Starting off with this blue card. Just on this blue card alone, he's doing like a million things. First off, it can restore your vanishing gauge depending on how many cards you drop when you activate it. So if you have 1 card that drops when you activate the blue, it will only restore your vanish a little bit. If you have 2 cards drop, then it will restore your vanish halfway. And if you have 3 cards that drop, then it will completely restore your vanish 100%. And there isn't a limit to this either. You can always get your vanish back from a blue card. This blue card could also be really helpful if you just have a bad hand. Like for example, if you have all blast, just use the blue card and bam, all your cards are gone and now you have a fresh new hand to work with. And to add on to this even more, the more cards you drop, the stronger the blue card hits. So it's the same thing that applies with the vanishing gauge. If you destroy 3 cards, he's gonna do hella damage. His blue card can also seal your opponent's blues and greens on activation for 5 counts. 5 counts is a pretty decent amount of time, so there's a pretty big window for you to take advantage of that moment, especially against characters like Ulton who just have infinite blue cards. It puts him at bay for a little bit and gives you a chance to gain priority over him. The last thing his blue card can do is nullify blast arcs. So that means he won't take any damage through blast armor, and he's just completely immune to armor break. This is just an insane blue card, man. Moving on to his green card. It's an AoE green because, of course it is. Every Ultra's gotta have an AoE green, right?
Yeah.
The main reason why this green card is so broken is because on activation, it inflicts enemies with no switching for 3 timer counts. No switching is one of the most powerful mechanics in the entire game because there's 0 forms of counterplay against it. There are so many situations to where you can use this to your advantage. You can pop the green card, then pop UG4's main and use the ult, and that's basically a one-shot kill right there. Or you could just use the AoE green and then follow it up with the Rising Rush. AoE greens are already broken in general, but adding no switching on top of that is just way too far, man. Alright, now it's time to talk about his ult. This ultimate is so fucking broken, bro. It's probably the hardest hitting ultimate we have ever gone in the game. Guaranteed one shot, even to this day. But it's not even just the damage. There is so much other stuff that happens. First off, just like his blue card, he nullifies blast cards when charging forward. So again, he won't take any damage from blast armor, and he's just completely immune to armor break. When you actually get hit by the ult, it reduces your ki to 100%, destroys your entire hand, reduces your Dragon Balls by 3, and if you're a revival character, the amount of health you'll get will be reduced by 70% when you revive. I don't even know why he has this. There weren't even any good revival characters when he came out. They literally just gave him this just because. I want to remind you guys, we are just talking about all this shit he does on his cards. We haven't even gone to his unique abilities yet. But let's go ahead and get into that. These unique abilities are a whole yap session, so I'll condense it down and summarize it for you guys. Starting off with unique ability 1. When you first start the match, UG4 is off rip, getting 240% inflicted damage. He gets double card draw speed on entry, he has constant healing up to 15 timer counts, and also gets cover null on entry for 10 timer counts every single time. He also gets reduced damage received by 70%, plus 40% to ki recovery, and minus 5 to all arts cost. For this next part, we briefly talked about it already, but whenever UG4 gets to half health, he'll get a full unique gauge, gain 30% of his health back, and goes type neutral. And I also did forget to mention this earlier, but his type neutrality on main can be cancelled. But that wasn't even a concern because the only yellow unit that canceled buffs at the time was Ultra Kid Buu. But he's been aged out, so there was no one that could stop this. Now let's get to the craziest part of his unique ability. His last man standing buffs. When both characters on your team are defeated, Gogeta gets 1 free Dragon Ball, plus 70% to overall inflicted damage, which cannot be cancelled, plus 50% to health restoration, which also cannot be cancelled, plus 30% to ki recovery and card draw speed, plus 50% to critical damage. He gets full charge rate on his unique gauge, and permanent type neutrality, which again, none of these things can be cancelled.
Wow, man. Damn.
I don't know, bro. That still seems pretty balanced to me. Moving on to unique ability 2. Starting off strong already, Gogeta has 2 types of cover changes against strike and blast cards. Because why not? Who cares anymore at this point? He's already broken enough, so might as well just give him everything. And technically speaking, Gogeta actually has 3 cover changes. Because remember, if Gogeta has a full gauge on standby, you could just switch into him and counter everything. Oh yeah, and when he cover changes, he draws a blue card every single time. Wow, this unit is just so balanced if you couldn't tell already. The second half of his unique ability just talks about his gauge, but we already covered that earlier in the video. So all of this, all the inflicted damage, the gauge, the AoE green, the last man standing buffs, all this BS combined with the boost system. Oh yeah, I bet you guys forgot about the boost system, didn't you? So all of this bullshit that Gogeta was doing by himself, combined with the extra stats from the boost system. Just uninstall the game if you didn't pull him. When I tell you, this unit literally had the meta in the palm of his hand. Honestly speaking, this unit really gave me Blue Beast Gohan vibes with the way he just dropped in and just took control over everything. He literally just spawned in and said, I'm in charge now. And every other unit was forced to obey like good boys because they couldn't do anything. So time goes by and UG4 is just absolutely dominating. There is a very clear gap between him and the rest of the game. It was so bad that even the devs knew they made a mistake with unleashing this monster into the wild. So they decided to take actions into their own hands. Operation Exterminate UG4 commenced. Triku, Ultra Majin Vegeta, transforming Goku Black, transforming Vegito Blue, and Ultra Beast Gohan. All of this, all these characters, which are some of the most broken characters we've received in recent time. Except for this fraud right here. This guy sucks ass. But all of these characters just to take down Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. And that isn't even all of them. There's even one more character that came out even before UG4 was released. Fusing Gogeta Blue. The devs actually released a pre-counter because they knew the absolute storm Gogeta was going to bring to the game. Honestly, give a round of applause for Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, because a feat of this degree will never be topped. 6 whole characters to take you down is insane. Okay, now that we're done catching up on Gogeta's kit and his overall impact on the game, let's get into your guys' points as to why you think this character is quote-unquote balanced. So I made a community post asking if you guys think UG4 is balanced or not, and give me a reason why. Thankfully, most people said this character wasn't balanced, but there were still a good chunk of people who think he is. So I went and looked at every single comment and boiled down every single one of your opinions to these 3 main points. Because like I said earlier, most of you guys just said the exact same thing. Reasoning number 1. UG4 is balanced because his gauge is the most balanced counter gauge we have ever gotten. Okay, I already know the exact reason why people are saying this, and it's only because you can't follow up with an attack after you get countered by the gauge. But keep in mind that people are calling a gauge that can counter every single attack and stop any form of counterplay like Perfect Vanish, and can completely reset the playing field to your opponent's advantage, balanced. Yeah, no. Just because you can't follow up with an attack with this gauge doesn't make it any less powerful. There are so many situations to where if you have this gauge at your disposal, you can completely flip the match around to your favor. For example, let's say you're getting a really good combo win on your opponent. You're building up your character, you're getting Dragon Balls to farm your Rising Rush, but then, oh no! Gogeta switches in because he already has his gauge activated on standby. Now the playing field has been reset, and you lost priority, and you're afflicted with no switching, and you have no rush, and your cards are dropped. Yeah, really balanced, bro. And it gets even worse during late game situations. Let's say you're trying to clutch up against UG4 and you perfect vanish him and you start to get the combo rolling. But then again, he still has his gauge left to be activated. You pop it and now you lost priority. And guess what? You have no vanish and no rush and no cards. What are you supposed to do in that situation? Nothing. The answer is nothing. Gogeta is just gonna go full screen and kill you. Like, the shit is not balanced, bro.
You're just cherry picking certain situations to make the gauge seem more broken than it is.
I'm not. I'm trying to prove that there will always be situations where Gogeta will gain priority or just straight up win because of his gauge. Yes, I'm well aware there will be many situations where you'll be just fine when you pop his gauge. But then again, there are many other situations where Gogeta can completely determine the outcome of a fight just because he has his gauge in his back pocket. So no, this gauge is not balanced. Reasoning number 2. Since UG4 has aged out and he doesn't do that much damage anymore, and can't tank well, he automatically becomes balanced. What kind of stupid ass logic is that, bro? So let me get this straight, because I must be missing something here. You're saying just because UG4 is out of his prime and is aged out due to power creep, and because the 20 million units Legends released to counter him, because of this, he automatically becomes balanced now?
Yes.
Alright then, since we're going with that logic, then it's fair for me to say that Raihan is balanced now, right? Whoa, what's with that face for? Go ahead and fix that shit, because this is your logic. I guess Raihan is balanced now because he's aged out and he doesn't do as much damage as he did before, and he obviously doesn't tank as well as he did before either. And you know what? Let's take it a step further. What about Blue Beast Gohan? A top 5 unit we've ever received in this game's history. But hey, he doesn't do that much damage anymore, nor does he perform at the level he once did. So he's balanced now, right guys? Nah, I'm not done yet. Let's go ahead and go even further. What about Ultra Majin Vegeta when he eventually ages out? Are you guys gonna start calling him balanced too? You know what? Maybe UMV wasn't as bad as we thought. Now that we have units with a million more times damage inflicted and have way more things in their kit, UMV is actually pretty balanced now.
And nigga, can I fight for
Do you see how stupid of a reasoning that is? Just because a character ages out doesn't make them any less toxic than they were before. Power creep happens to every single character in this game. It's gonna happen to UMV, it's gonna happen to Forku, but that still doesn't make them any less oppressive and toxic than they are. I feel like this would be common sense, but with this community, I guess not. Reasoning number 3. He's balanced just because I like Gogeta. No, this isn't a joke. There are legitimate people who are calling this character balanced just because they like him. As a matter of fact, I want to show you guys some of the comments firsthand because this shit is ridiculous. I love this unit. He killed off Raihan for a while, plus it's Gogeta. That's great, man. I'm really happy for you that you love UG4. I love UG4 as well. He's one of my favorite characters, but what does this have to do with anything? IDK, he's balanced, but I may be biased. Well, at least you admit it, bro. Oh my God. He's the GOAT, that's why. Again, no reasoning provided. I just like Gogeta, so I'm gonna call him balanced. UG4 was a healthy release, kid. Just because he's healthy, that doesn't mean he's balanced. Healthy equals balance. You're just mad you got cooked by him in PvP and or got shafted. Hop off. What the? This actually just has to be a 7-year-old kid on his iPad. I'm just gonna ignore this. This is a little kid. Most balanced unit in Boost Saga meta. Gee, guys, I wonder if he likes Gogeta. I don't know, though. I can't tell. He wasn't that bad to face against. There were counters to him, and while oppressive, never unbeatable. Bro, look at your name and your profile picture, bro. I can't make this shit up even if I wanted to. And he is balanced, no matter how you try to make it sound bad. Again, no reasoning in sight. I just like Gogeta, so I'm gonna call him balanced. Looks balanced to me. Can you explain why? I would love to know. Cringe UG4 hater. Never said I hated UG4. I just do not think he's balanced, and I'm trying to get other people to see that, but... God. My king. Great, man. I'm happy you like the character. What does that have to do with him being balanced? Yes, he is, because he's a fusion. I'm done, bro. He's healthy, but not balanced. Not balanced equals toxic. Balance equals healthy. He's healthy and not toxic, but he wasn't balanced. There's a difference. And any ultra shouldn't be balanced, but there shouldn't be toxic or unhealthy either. That's UG4. He's healthy for the game, not toxic, but unbalanced. Yeah, I'm done. This is honestly a new low for the community. How are you gonna let your bias for a character determine your whole opinion? Even I don't do this. You guys know I love Ultra UI Goku and LF MUI Goku. They're my favorite characters in the entire game. But just because I like them, I'm not gonna sit by and say these characters were balanced. No, these characters were toxic as hell. This debate is honestly so pointless. I don't even know why this is a thing, but I hope this video was able to convince you guys that this character is anything but balanced. The devs literally released 6 whole characters targeted to taking this man down. That should be enough evidence as it is, but whatever. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.